Animal mutilations persist around the world. There are cases every day, whether it's Peru or Argentina or Chile or Mexico or Central America or the United States or Canada or England or other European countries. It goes on. It has never stopped. And the two areas that I have found consensus of agreement on what the extraterrestrial agenda could be, when I have talked with people retired from government or military who have dealt with the non-humans personally, they agree that the categories I used in my very first book in 1989 called An Alien Harvest was, one, the material, some of the material taken from the animals is literally used for sustenance. Sustenance is another larger word for food. But it's my understanding that unlike the way you and I and our fellow humans will cook or eat raw vegetables or we masticate, so to speak, with our teeth and drink fluids, that we're dealing with life forms that may have a genetic problem of their own and that they may have to extract certain proteins to survive, and that is one of the applications of the animal mutilations. The second, however, is more disturbing. That genetic material has been harvested for a very long time on this planet in order to make clones, hybrids, organic containers that could live and survive and work in the particular gravity, in the particular atmosphere of this planet. And it's been suggested to me by people who have worked inside of this government and are now dead, actually, who talked to me right at the end of their lives, that we are dealing not with just one type of non-human intelligence, but competing intelligences who do not share the same agendas. And that there is geopolitical territorial conflict, and that in that conflict there is a political argument about what is allowable to do with life. And that part of that argument has to do that some are considered to be using cloning and hybridization way too much, and they are the ones that might have trouble surviving with whatever is their replicating genetic factor now. And the other side of this is that there are non-humans who see something definitely valuable in the evolution of the standing up primates on this planet up to this particular variety now that we call Cro-Magnon, Homo sapiens sapien. And that in that argument about what is allowable to do with life, that there have been political arguments to get rid of clones and hybrids and genetically manipulated species. And then there have been champions of this DNA manipulated species called humanity, who feel that we have a right to survive. Now, that is a sort of large overview of what I think is the largest box in which all of this is occurring. Can I prove it? No, I cannot. Do I think that some of the people, as a reporter, an investigative reporter and TV producer that I have talked to who have worked inside of agencies and groups that have been involved with trying to keep the extraterrestrial secret since World War II, do I think that some of them have told me facts? Yes, I do. Bottom line, there's not a single question in my mind, nor in Jim Marr's mind, nor several of us who have spent a lot of our careers trying to understand why our government has had such a strict policy of denial about something that seems so obvious to people in the human abduction syndrome, to ranchers who have seen these glowing discs over their pastures with animals rising or lowering in beams of light and found mutilated. And that when you stop and think that we are we are at the beginning of the 21st century, and that we are continuing on a planet that essentially is being kept in a concocted history, in concocted mythology, which is not mythology, that non-humans have interacted with this planet, and at times in Mesopotamia and Sumeria, the Annunaki carved in stone, in cuneiform, this was a real part of the history of this planet. And what does the cuneiform discuss? That they worked in laboratories and tubes, at least according to Zechariah Sitchin, making life forms, and that there were arguments between them 5,000 years ago about what they would do with the life forms that they made. Enlil and Enki were allegedly extraterrestrial brothers. They argued with each other. Enlil wanted to eradicate the human workers that they had made to mine gold, and Enki did not, and wanted humans to survive and to be stewards of this planet.